What's up producers, welcome back to Sushi Music, and today I am going to address how to make a future based song from the very scratch, and this is gonna be like those Chainsmoker and Marshmello type song. If you are new here, then on this channel I help music producers and beat makers to make pop, R&B and future based song with some production tips and tricks. So let's get into the video. Alright, so we are in the session and I'm gonna set the tempo around 140 to 160 BPM. Let's keep it 160. So I think I'm gonna start this song with a guitar loop and gonna build the whole song around that guitar loop. So let's find one. Okay, so I came up with this loop from the Ghost Hack Ultimate Vocal Library pack, which goes like. So I'm gonna treat this melody loop like a vocal and gonna lay down all the chords, synths and drums according to this loop and gonna build up the whole song. So let's lay down some chords. Okay, so I'm using this free plugin for a grand piano and I find this preset from the plugin and it goes like. So the Chainsmoker uses this ladder type chord progression a lot, and I'm doing the same thing. So for the chord progression, I'm using an A major here, B major, C sharp minor, E major, and then at last I'm using G sharp minor here. So I'm cutting some lows and highs here for some layering. Now let's layer this progression. Okay, so for the layering, I find this preset from the Nexus, which goes like. And again, I cut some of the highs and the lows here. You see, it will help the chords to sit in the mix very well. So I want some movement in my intro, so I think I will go with an delayed piano here. Let's find one. Okay, so I find this preset here and I added a little bit of delayed so that it will sound like this. And then I again added a low and high cut to it. Okay, so overall it's sounding pretty good here. Now let's add some pads and synths. Okay, so for the pad, I quickly made this preset from the initial preset of Serum. So what I did here, I used this saw wave, added 2 unison here. And then I just added some reverb and a chorus. And then I automated the filter here and the automation goes like. Okay, so I wanted a dead mouse like pluck here, so I added this preset here from the gray pack and it goes like. And used an auto filter and EQ to boost some of the high mids of the area. Okay, so for the effects, I'm using this down swish from the wave pack and I'm using this Kashmir riser here. So let's listen the whole intro from the scratch. Let's build up the verse. Okay, so for the verse, what I'm gonna do here is that I'm duplicating this guitar loop and then I'm duplicating all the chords. So I'm very curious what happens if I change the timing of the chords. So let's see what we get. Let's do the same thing with the other layers. Now let's add a bass. Okay, so for the bass, I quickly made this preset from the sine wave. All I did here is just I used one sine wave and lowered the octave down by one. The bass was clicking, so I just added a little bit of attack to it. So the bass goes like. Okay, so for the drums, I'm using this kick loop, but I'm not gonna use the loop. I'm just using one kick and lay down the kick pattern by myself. Kick is sounding a little bit clicky, so I remove its clickiness by EQing it. And then to make it tight, I'm using this compressor. And then I added this clap from the Capital drum kit, which sounds more like a snare. And then I did a little bit of processing to it, where I just added an high cut and low cut to it and boosted a little bit of low mids and tipped a little bit of high mid. And then for some crunchy high end, I added bit crushing and just played with the dry and wet knob. And then I added this walla walla room to it. And then I added this clap again from the Capital drum kit. And all I did here is that I added a reverb with a long tail to it. So the whole drum pattern sounds something like this. So you see the kick and the bass are clashing with each other. So let's do side chaining. Let's group them up and add the same side chaining to it. And for the second part of the verse, I just added this Kashmir hi-hat loop. Cut down some of the lows and a little bit of highs. Added this Valhalla room to it with a small tail. And then I added this delay, and all it's doing here is that one side of my audio is coming a latency of 12 millisecond, and in my left side it's coming by just 1 millisecond of latency. So it's creating that widening effect in my loop. So the intro was lacking some kind of texture, so I added this Vox preset which goes like. And then I just did a little bit of processing here, where I just boosted around 3k, and then I used this auto filter to automate a little bit, and then I used a Valhalla room. Now let's listen the whole intro and the verse together. Okay, so the intro and the verse are sounding pretty good, so now let's make the build up. Okay, so for the pre-chorus chord, I did nothing but just duplicated this part here, and I didn't add any other layer to it. I just did some automation to increase tension in the pre-chorus. Let's listen all the chords together. Now let's build up the drums. So the kick is getting very busy in the end part of the pre-chorus, so let's filter out the bass here. And then I added this sexy snap from the Capital Drum Kit 4. And then to add some tail, I added this reverb. And then I added this marching snare loop from the Cymatics Effect Toolkit Volume 5, and it goes like. Let's add some volume automation to it. So you see it was creating more tension than it was creating before. And then I find this another build-up loop from the Cymatic FX Toolkits Volume 3, and it goes like. And for the effects section, I quickly made this riser from the noise where I just automated its volume and used autopan like a LFO. You can copy the settings from this. And then I added this pink noise from the Cymatic pack and used the same LFO and volume automation. And then I added a Kashmir sub drop and a white noise riser. Now let's listen the whole pre-chorus. Yeah, that's better. Now let's build up the most amazing part, drop. Alright, so for the drop, I'm gonna start the drop with the drums. So just for the sake of starting out, I'm just copying and pasting these drums here. Now let's build up the chords over it. So I think I will change the progression here. So I just copied this intro chord progression here, and let's delete all this. Let's move this. Okay, so I came up with this chord progression which goes like. So all the chords are same, I just changed a little bit of progression here. Now let's add some future basis synth to this chords. Okay, so I find this preset from the Chainsmokers pack, and it goes like. Okay, so for layering, I quickly made this preset here. You can copy the settings. To add some movement, I'm gonna add another synth which has a lot of LFO to it. Okay, so I find this preset from the Gray pack, automated its LFO rate to create some more movement. Alright, so I exploded the session with all the basses, and the first bass goes like. So it's the same bass I used earlier in this project, and then I added another bass which has some of high ends to it. And then I added just a low cut and high cut, boosted a little bit of high mids of area, tube saturation from the Ableton stock plugin, and then I did a little bit of bit crushing here to get those crispy high ends, and then I just added this OTT plugin here to balance out and get the desired result. And then I added this plucky bass from the Smokers pack, and it goes like. And then I added this jittery bass from the Cymatic Secret packs, and it goes like. Okay, to make the drop even more clear, I'm gonna add the same sidechain compressor to the chords and the basses. And then I'm gonna use volume automation to make it even more clear. Now it's sounding more clear. Alright, so for the drop, I flushed out all the kicks, snares and fills, hi-hats. Let's break down each one of them one by one. So at first, I added the same kick from the verse and snare also. And then I layered the snare with another snare which goes like. So it's coming up alternatively. And then I layered the same clap from the verse. And then I added another snare to create some more variation. And then for a fill, I added this. And at the last part of the drop, I added this hi-hat loop. So let's listen the whole drum. Now let's add a lead to the drop. So for the melody, I used this feature of Ableton, convert melody into new MIDI track. So what it's doing is that it's creating the MIDI of the melody you have assigned to it. You see, it's very accurate. Okay, so for the drop melody, I'm using this preset from the Chainsmokers pack, which goes like. And then I quickly made this preset which goes like. So I'm doing nothing, just added the second unison to it, and that's it. That's all I did here. And for the effect section, I just duplicated this riser to here and I just added a cymatic impact. So now let's listen the whole track with everything I came up. So that is it for today guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you like my way of explaining things. If you came this along, then make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more upcoming video weekly.